Hundreds of people believe they saw Patricia Meehan after she disappeared. The problem? Nobody can prove a single sighting was actually her. In 1989, Patricia Meehan survived a traffic accident on a Montana highway. Witnesses watched her climb from the wreckage. Then she walked away. More than 3 decades later, nobody knows where she went. This is the mystery of Patricia Meehan. An ordinary Montana afternoon. Some mysteries begin with violence. Others begin with deception. The Patricia Meehan mystery began with something far more ordinary, a drive. On April 20th, 1989, Patricia Meehan was traveling through Montana. It was a day that should have passed unnoticed. A day that should have blended into thousands of other days on thousands of other highways. Instead, it became the last day anyone could definitively explain. Somewhere along that road, Patricia's vehicle drifted into oncoming traffic and collided with another car. It wasn't a catastrophic crash. It wasn't the kind of collision that immediately suggested a future mystery. At first glance, it looked like a routine accident. Witnesses stopped, people emerged from their vehicles, help was offered. But within moments, those witnesses began noticing something unusual, something they would spend years trying to describe. The woman nobody could reach. The people who approached Patricia expected confusion. Accident victims are often shaken. They may be frightened, disoriented, emotional. What witnesses encountered felt different. Patricia wasn't screaming, she wasn't crying, she wasn't angry. Instead, she seemed detached, present but distant. Some later described her as appearing almost ghost-like. Questions were asked. Answers were sparse. People tried to engage her, tried to understand whether she was injured, tried to determine what had happened. Yet the more they interacted with her, the more unsettled they became. It was as though Patricia was physically standing beside them while mentally existing somewhere else entirely. The walkaway. Then came the moment that transformed an accident into a mystery. Patricia began walking. Not running, not hiding, simply walking away. Witnesses watched her cross a fence, watched her move farther from the crash site. No one fully understood the significance of what they were seeing. Why would they? People walk away from accident scenes all the time. Perhaps she needed space. Perhaps she was confused. Perhaps she intended to return, but she never did. And that ordinary walk would become one of the most analyzed moments in missing person history. The search begins. At first, there was hope that Patricia would quickly be located. Nearby areas were searched, roads were checked, authorities retraced her likely path, the landscape was examined. The assumption was simple. Someone would find her. Someone would call. Someone would know where she had gone. But as hours became days, optimism began to fade. Patricia had seemingly vanished. No clear destination, no clear explanation, no clear evidence of what happened next. Only questions. The sightings. Then the reports started. A waitress thought she recognized her. A traveler claimed to have seen her. Another witness insisted Patricia was alive and living elsewhere under different circumstances. The reports came from different locations, different states, different people. Some appeared plausible. Others seemed unlikely. Yet taken together, they created a strange possibility. What if Patricia had survived? What if she was still out there? What if someone had been seeing her all along? The amnesia theory. One theory captured the public imagination more than any other. Amnesia. The idea seemed almost impossible, yet it also explained many of the strange details. The accident, the unusual behavior, the reported sightings. If Patricia no longer knew who she was, how would she return home? How would she identify herself? How would anyone know they had found her? The theory offered hope, but hope and proof are not the same thing, and proof never arrived. Chapter 7, Hope and Heartbreak. For Patricia's family, every new sighting carried possibility. A phone call could change everything. A witness could solve the mystery. A photograph might finally provide answers. Yet every lead eventually ended the same way: disappointment. The cycle repeated itself for years: hope, investigation, silence. Families of missing persons often describe living between two worlds: the world where their loved one is gone and the world where their loved one may still return. Patricia's case trapped her family between those worlds. Why the public couldn't let go. Most missing person cases fade from public memory. Patricia Meehan's never quite did. Perhaps it was the witnesses. Perhaps it was the accident. Perhaps it was the possibility that she survived. Or perhaps it was because the case feels unfinished. Human beings are uncomfortable with stories that lack endings. We want answers. We want explanations. We want resolution. Patricia's story offers none. And that may be why people still remember it. The questions that remain. Even decades later, investigators and observers return to the same questions. What caused Patricia to cross into oncoming traffic? What did witnesses truly observe? Why did she walk away? Was she suffering from a medical emergency? Did she intentionally disappear? Were any of the sightings genuine? Every theory answers some questions while creating new ones. The mystery remains stubbornly intact. The missing ending. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of Patricia Meehan's story is how ordinary it began. No dramatic confrontation, no obvious crime, no clear villain, just a woman, a highway, a collision, a walk, and then nothing. Somewhere beyond that fence lies the missing ending. An answer known only to Patricia. An answer her family deserved. An answer the public continues to search for decades later. Until that answer is found, Patricia Meehan remains what she has always been: one of the most haunting mysteries that refuses to leave our minds. Thank you for tuning in to Grace and Gavel, where truth meets compassion. My name is Buffy. I'm an almost 18-year criminal defense attorney. If you got value from this, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And check out my podcast channel, Recovering Perfectionist Mama with underscores, psychology channel, or Grace and Gavel, where truth meets compassion, as a true crime channel. Hope you enjoy this, and feel free to leave a comment or question if you have one. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.